Hello. Hello. Chalo, it's working somehow.
Bar right here. And what we can focus on now is go back inside of the home layout here, and we should actually find a place to render our home site. Let's go ahead and give this div, which is encapsulating our children, a class name, flex minimum height of screen, and a padding top of 4 rem, just like this, and a padding top of 4 rem, height of screen, and a padding top of 4 rem, just like this. So now, as you can see, we have moved our body, which was hidden behind the navbar. It's now being pushed right here. Great. So now let's also render the home sidebar here and encapsulate our children inside of the main element. And let's give the main element a class name of flex1 and overflow y out. Like this. And now let's focus on developing an overflow y and encapsulate our children inside of the main element. And let's give the main element a class name of flex1 and overflow y auto. Like this. And now let's focus on developing the whole sidebar. So basically, this is just some semantics to make this content behave properly when it's in the copy. Split it in between the navbar and the side, right? Those are these flexes and overfly y auto. And all of those things right here. And the reason we are doing padding top 4 rem is because that translates to 64 pixels. And if you go inside of Chrome navbar and hover over here, the height of our navbar is 64 pixels. Navbar and hover over here, it's to 64 pixels. And if you go inside of Chrome navbar hover over here, the height of our navbar is 64 pixels. So what we're doing is hover over here. The height of our navbar is 64 pixels. So what we're doing is we are pushing the entire content below the home navbar for the height of that navbar. So that's why our content is now visible, right? Previously it was hidden behind. Let's go ahead inside of our components and let's create a new folder called sidebar. And inside of home sidebar, let's create an index.tsx component like this. Inside of here, let's export onto the home sidebar. And let's return a sidebar components from components UI sidebar. Make sure you don't accidentally import the icon from Lucidity app. Let's give the sidebar a class name. Padding top 60, Z index 40, and order none, like this. And let's add a sidebar content here from components UI sidebar. And let's give the class name of background. So BG background will simply default to whatever our background color is, which in Lightroom is white. And now inside here, we are going to add some sections, but I think that we should already perhaps be seeing the sidebar. So let's go ahead and import the home sidebar from component. It's home sidebar. we can't see anything, but we can clearly see that something has pushed our content right here. And you can see that also when I click on this icon, I can collapse our site. So before we do any changes to any of this, what I'm going to do is I actually want to go inside of the home sidebar and I want to add my first section, which will be the main section, like this. And the main section will be another component which we're going to do. Inside of the home sidebar here, create a new file, main-section dot dsx, like this. And this will most certainly be a client component because we're going to be using some hooks. So we need to turn this into a client component. And now let's go ahead and let's prepare const items here. It's going to be an array of items. The first item will be a title which says home. It's going to have a URL of a / and an icon of home icon from Lucy like this. And that's how we're going to build our items here. The next one will be subscriptions, which will lead to /subscriptions. Actually /feed/subscriptions, like this, with an icon of play square icon, again from Lucy the Act. So that's going to be our second. And we're also going to add a useful little quirk here, auth true. We're going to use this later. It's going to be useful for us. Basically, this page will only be rendered to authorized users, because this will be used to videos from your subscriptions. If you're not logged in, you don't have any subscriptions, right? And this one will be trending, so feed trending, and this will have flame icon, also from recipient, and ALF is not going to be required for this one. Great. So now let's export const main section here. Let's return sidebar group from components UI sidebar. Sidebar group content. And sidebar menu. So make sure you have all of this from sidebar. Sidebar group content, and menu. But while we are here, we can also add sidebar menu button, and we can add sidebar menu item, like this. So make sure you have all of this. Let me just collapse them so you can see them nicely. There we go. Collapse them so you can see them nicely. There we go. Instead of the sidebar menu right here, what we're going to do is we're going to iterate over our items. Item.map, get the individual item, and then inside of here, render the sidebar menu item with the key of item. Title, because each title is unique. So we can see if we use it as a key. And let's render the sidebar menu button component like this. Let's give this a tooltip of item.title. Let's give it an as child. Let's go ahead and give it an is active, be explicitly false. I'm going to change this in a moment, and on click for now will just be an empty arrow function. Then inside of here, we're going to use our link from next link, like this, with an href. Going to item.url, and then inside we're going to render item.icon like this, and a span item.title. Let's give this some styles. So this will have a class name of flex. Items, my apologies, flex, then items.send, gap-4, and this span here will have a class name of text small, like this. So that's
गवर्नमेंट ठीक है
of text small, like this. So that's our main section. Let's go ahead and import. Our main section from /main section. And now you should be able to see all subscriptions and trending. Section. Let's go. main section. And let's go ahead and import our main section from /main section. And now you should be able to see home, subscriptions, and trending. Here, into item. .url, and then inside we're going to render item.icon like this, and a span item.title. Let's give this some styles, so this will have a class name flex items. My apologies, flex. Then items.set gap -4, and this span here will have a class name of text like that. So that's our main section. Let's go ahead and import our main section from /main section, and which are all from our items, as you can see here. Great. So now what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to go ahead and add a little to do, change to look at current path name. Do something, right? So these are all things that we're going to have to do later, but for now we're just focused on the UI. Great. Now that we have the main section, we can easily build the other section which we need, which is the personal section: history, liked videos, and all playlists, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside of my home sidebar, and below the main section I'm going to add a separator. From components UI is separated. Make sure you didn't accidentally import this from Remix, because you're not going to have any Shatsy and styles. Let's give this separator, well, nothing. It should just look like this. It should just be fine. Great. And then below that, we're going to have another section like this. Let's go ahead and let's copy the main section and paste it here. and let's rename it to personal section. Like this, meaning this will be the currently logged in user's personal items, but we are still going to render them regardless if we're logged in or not purely because the sidebar really looks empty when you're not logged in, so we at least want to show the user what they could have once they're logged in. So that's my decision to show it. Because the sidebar really looks empty when you're not logged in, so we at least want to show the user what they could have once they're logged in. So that's my decision to show it. Let's modify our, well, first let's rename this to first. Personal section like this, and let's go ahead and inside of sidebar group add a sidebar group label. You have to import this and call it U. So sidebar group label, you have to import this and U. So sidebar group label is a new import here. But make sure you're doing this inside of the new copied personal section. Make sure you didn't alter the main section. Great. Now we're going to change the routes. So the title of this one will be the history, which will lead to /playlists history, playlists history, and it will use history icon from Lucidry, and we're gonna add our true.
Oh.
Next one will be light videos, and this one will go to playlists light. Oops. And it's going to use the icon thumbs up icon from Lucidry. And the last one will be all playlists, and this will just go to /playlists, and it's going to use list video icon from Lucidry without true as well. So make sure you have added history icon without true as well. So make sure you have added history icon, list video icon, and thumbs up icon. So now if you save this and go back instead of your home sidebar and replace the duplicated main section with first section like this, you should now see another section right here. Great, and we can now go ahead and go inside the source app folder. My apologies, inside of, well, yes, inside of homepage.asx, and just change this to, I will load videos. Like this, and remove the import. And there we go. Now it makes more sense what this will be. So this is our sidebar with home. If you click on any of this, it will lead to 404 because we don't have any of those routes implemented yet. But you can see our basic layout is definitely coming together. Let's go ahead and wrap it up by just modifying the icon of this sidebar right here. You can do that by literally going inside of the sidebar component, which we can do because we're using ShadCN UI. So just go to Source Components UI and select the sidebar component. Let me just find it, sidebar right here, and you can see that we are using panel left from Lucid React. Let's add menu icon from Lucid React, and we can remove the panel left, and now you can just look for the error. So just scroll down and you will see an error right here, I believe. There we go. The component is called sidebar trigger, and what you can do is just change this to be menu icon like this. There we go, and now it's exactly the same as mine is. And another thing that you can do here is you can go inside of app folder, my apologies, inside of your modules, home, layouts, actually the home sidebar index, home, layouts, actually home sidebar index, and you can add collapsed, I believe, is it collapsed? Just a second, I'm going to, it is collapsing, not on the sidebar content, on this side, collapsing. And inside of here, you can choose icon, none, or off canvas. And if you choose icon, you're gonna enable the collapsed mode like this. I think this is quite useful if you don't want to entirely hide the sidebar, but you do want to expand your user's view, right? Perfect. So we now have this, and I believe that already if you go inside of the mobile and collapsing, and inside of here you can choose icon, none, or off canvas. And if you choose you're gonna enable the collapsed mode like this. I think this is quite useful if you don't want to entirely hide the sidebar, but you do want to expand your view. Collapsed mode like this. I think this is quite useful if you don't want to entirely hide the sidebar, but you do want to expand user's view. Perfect. So we now have this, and I believe like this. those are actually not our fault because this component has been we didn't build the code for this, and this error that's being thrown comes from a newer version of Radix, which I guess the creators of Shanxi didn't exactly account for at the time. So now it's throwing an error because the way they implemented this sheet component, this dialog component, is throwing accessibility errors. Right? But I think it's okay for a tutorial. I will research it before I completely end the tutorial if that has been resolved somehow. I think in this version it's going to stay. But those errors are not visible in production as far as I know. Great, so one more thing I can show you how to do is the animation. If you like the animation, I personally don't like the animation. I think it makes the app look slow. So again, let's go back inside of our components UI sidebar. I'm going to show you where you can change or remove the animation. So basically, if you want to remove the animation, I don't think there's a problem for it, but you transition like this, and then you can just remove some things you don't test it out. What you do is you can add a new file. But remember, you can always run bonus and sidebar. And what this will do is, let me just go ahead and save my sidebar just in case I copied it. You can do this, for example, and yeah, it will basically ask you to find the sidebar.tsx already exists. Would you like to overwrite? And you can just press yes, and then it's going to overwrite it, and it's going to bring it up. So I'm just going to great, so just check this modify it. Great, there we go. So as I was saying, we just finished the basic layout. Great. So we built this red thing right here. It's not exactly finished, it's just UI, but it is the layout that we need. Great. Amazing. Amazing job. So this chapter. There is going to be it's this chapter, which we're this chapter is the application to our project. We're going to achieve that using Clerk. The application we developed in this chapter is not exactly going to stop here, but in order to implement the things that we have planned for our application in the future, we're missing a couple of modules like our database and TRPC, which is something we're going to add later. So I decided to use this chapter simply to add basic application, which means in this chapter we have to implement Clerk, we have to add signing